there, Karen Fabian here, founder of Bare Bones Yoga, and I'm here with video number 4 in the Learn Anatomy Challenge. So video number 4, if you're referencing the PDF, is what bones, joints, and muscles do I need to know as a teacher? So this is a common question because of course there's so much you could possibly know. Well, if you remember from video 2, I said one of the helpful things that you can do to make it a little bit less stressful in terms of learning anatomy is frame what you need to know. And when we talked about things like the joints, one of the things I mentioned was we're not really going to go into all the joints of the hand and the foot. We're going to look at major joints in the body. So when we look at things like what bones, joints, and muscles do I need to know, we're really framing that in terms of things that help us make these big movements with the arms, with the legs, certainly things that we would be looking at using on the mat. So let's just take, for instance, the shoulder joint. That's definitely something that you're going to want to know a lot about. And one of the things about the shoulder joint that's kind of obvious when you look at it is that it's a ball and socket. So it gives us a lot of ability to move the arm. When we look at the anatomical movements, which you remember we talked about in one of the earlier videos, the shoulder joint affords us movement in all the different planes: flexion, extension, external, internal rotation, abduction, and adduction. When we look at things like the hip joint, we can see similar movements because the hip and the shoulder are both the same kind of joint. When we start to look at things like muscles, what kinds of muscles should I learn as a yoga teacher? We're looking at all the different muscles that are involved in moving the legs and the arms and the spine. Again, I don't really get into teaching in anatomy all the muscles of the hand. However, definitely things like the psoas, that's involved in hip flexion, transversus abdominis, which gives us greater integrity around the center of our body and supports both our spine and the abdominal contents. Looking at muscles of the neck, like the levator scapula, that lift our shoulder blades up or allow us to take our head into extension. Looking at muscles of the leg, like the quadriceps, which is a knee extender, or the gastrocnemius in the calf. So I'm not going to go over all of it here. This is just to give you a little taste. But the idea in general is that it's really important as you're going into your studying to have a sense of what kind of boundary are you going to put on this idea of bones, muscles, and joints. Are you going to dive into studying every single joint in the hand and miss out on really important information that's going to be more commonly used in your cues and in your conversations with students because they involve bigger movements that people are making? I would say in most cases it's going to be the latter. So again, as I mentioned in one of the earlier videos, in my Blueprint Learning program, I do all of this sorting for you. You don't need to figure out what it is that you need to learn because I offer you what the critical pieces are in the program. However, in these short videos that are part of this Learn Anatomy Challenge, I want to present to you this idea of learning anatomy with a blueprint, with a framework, and how powerful that can be. So that's the end of this one. Let's move on to the next video.